Hey, that time of the month again, here we are. What are we? We're officially the huge movie fanatics here on YouTube.
Yes, we are.
That's the channel. Keep coming back because we hope to keep doing these reviews. Now we're going to start off today with the first official kind of review request from a good buddy of mine here on YouTube, Slashville. He requested, since we talked about Jaws, I think in one of your other things, to actually do a review of Jaws and do something that's older instead of kind of more newer stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounded like a good idea to me. I love it. You love it.
Yes.
I'd say Jaws review.
All right. Want me to kick it off?
Kick it off.
All right. The first Jaws, the original movie that was just like this hardcore smash hit from back in the day. I was not alive when that movie came out, but I have seen it many a time. I grew up watching that movie from the age of like 3 or 4 onward, and it's one of the first movies that I remember ever watching. It's just brilliant, and it holds up like crazy. I was lucky enough to see it in theaters about 4 years ago at the Oakdale Theater.
Marcus, I was probably there. Did they only do that on one night?
Yeah.
Then I was there.
We were both there together, unknowingly. But,
Ultra screen, yeah.
Yeah,
Marcus.
on the ultra screen, and it holds up in the theater still. I took a friend to see it. Her name's Susie. If you're watching, Susie, hey.
Hey, Susie.
And she had never seen it before, and she dug it, and she like the scares worked on her too, which was pretty cool. I remember watching her jump when the head comes out of the boat.
When you said scares, I thought of the head come out of the boat reshoot thing, and I'm like,
yeah, she did the jump, which was amazing. But yeah, it was it's still a terrific movie. The acting is just so like pitch perfect. I don't know how they found 3 people who could play and bounce off each
I'll
other
tell
so
you,
well.
the 70s, freaking magic. That's all I got to say. The 70s were just magic. I mean, there was so much good movie karma going on back then. It was ridiculous. This is Steven Spielberg's his second theatrical movie. Didn't he do some Sugarland Express or something before, which I'd never actually even seen yet?
It's not that great.
Yeah. Spielberg was, I think, like 25 or 6 when he made Jaws. It just blows me away.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get a mind behind a project like that. And I don't, it's fair to say it's not just Spielberg. I mean, the editor, and obviously John Williams, and obviously the 3 actors, and just everyone involved. Like I say, it was just magic. And same with me. I grew up watching it pretty much this time of year all the time. When it was July and swimming time, I always get out Jaws, recorded on the TV, the horrible, kind of first transfer of it, the pan and scan, just horrible crap, but you could see the movie. And back then you didn't know what the hell you were watching, you didn't know there was anything better, or you're missing all the part of the screen and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right. I mean, the acting and the casting of the 3 people was unbelievable. And Roy Scheider, for me, I kind of grew up with a lot of Roy Scheider movies, so he kind of means more to me than kind of just your average, he would to your average person. And I just thought he's such a great actor because he's kind of like the more modern version, maybe Jimmy Stewart, where he's kind of just an everyman. And he doesn't have to be all steroided at all,
He was tough without being muscular or anything.
Yeah,
he had a commanding presence.
Yeah, the presence was just like bam. And Richard Dreyfuss was just perfectly cast for that.
I know, and like if you watch a movie from 2 years earlier, American Graffiti came out 2 years before Jaws, and maybe it was 3, but completely different appearance, a completely different character. He completely dissolves into the role that he's in any given movie, and like my 2 favorite characters that he played were the ones in Jaws and in American Graffiti, and they were just so like completely different, and like you can see how strong of an actor he is from going movie to movie like that, just how incredibly gifted he is at just being those different people. Like you can see his range.
Yeah, I haven't seen American Graffiti for a long time, but I trust you.
It's brilliant.
It's probably pretty good.
And then I always forget his name. The gentleman who played Quint.
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw was terrific, and it was one of his last roles.
Yeah, I hear that he didn't even really like Richard Dreyfuss.
No, so that wasn't so much acting. It's just like really good casting, I guess.
If I break the ship, I break the ship.
Yeah, he really helped sell the last half of that movie.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah. I liked, for people who've read the book, I think the movie's much better than the book, but I like the way his character goes out in the movie a little bit more than in the book. In the book, it was essentially like the book equivalent of a remake of Moby Dick, whereas the Jaws, they switched it up a little bit. It wasn't quite so much a Moby Dick movie, but I really liked his character's resolution, if you will, at the end in the movie better than how he goes.
What was it in the book then?
In the book, he shoots the thing with the he shoots the shark with the spear. Shoots the harpoon. He harpoons it and goes down with the shark. I think the rope tethers
Oh yeah,
around
yeah.
his
Because I
leg.
read the book myself, and it was one of the only books I ever read, and because I wanted to see what the movie came from, and I think I remember that when you said, yeah, he got tangled.
He got tangled
with it,
and
yeah.
sucked down, and
Not quite as dramatic as the shark coming
Yeah.
out of the boat, and
well, it was just terrifying, and you got to see what he was describing in the
yeah, exactly what he was
the
describing
backstory.
happened to him.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the water turns over, and their eyes roll over white, and
Yeah,
that high pitched screaming.
yeah,
They rip you to pieces. Yeah, he exactly,
Yeah.
kind of foresaw his own death. So, I don't know what to say other than, is there anything you can pick out in particular that you like? Maybe if you start.
the scar scene, where they're discussing the
Oh,
different
yeah, yeah.
scars, which
That's
has been
interesting.
like knocked off or parodied in
Yeah.
various other movies, like Lethal Weapon 3 comes to mind. Chasing Amy did a really good parody of it, which was really good to see that movie for that scene. But that scene sticks out in my mind, just like the movie moves. Like a lot of movies, I will say from the 70s, sort of have a pacing problem because of the way that movies have aged, and everything needs to be at like a fever sprint.
Well, I
And,
wouldn't say everything needs to be. They think everything needs to be.
Yeah, generally you'll see movies now and everything runs at a fever sprint, whereas a lot of movies in the 70s took their time and whatnot. And
Do you think that's
Jaws,
bad? You think that's
no.
a bad thing?
not necessarily. I don't know. I'm a fan of like the fever sprint just because I grew up with it.
Right, that's understandable.
But this movie moves at a leisurely rate, but it moves at a rate that it does sort of fly by. Like it's a 2-hour movie, but it doesn't feel like 2 hours at all.
It's
it
like
just,
the last 50 minutes or hours them on the boat or something.
Yeah, and it moves like water.
Hey, that's pretty clever.
Yes, I do that occasionally. Yeah, there are just so many great moments. It's hard to pick out.
I
Just
know, it's like
little-
beyond classic now. And even bringing up the music, which is, it's almost pointless because it's so obvious that it's
Yeah.
just like, dun, 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 dun. Don't you love that? When the shark comes up, dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
E.T.
dun, dun, dun. Oh, E.T., yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm kidding with you guys on the internet. It's dun 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 dun.
This is probably going to be taken down now by Williams' team.
Oh crap! I think it was too fast paced. It won't recognize it.
But
But
yeah, the music is great. I think that was the first Academy Award win for Williams, wasn't it? I think.
I don't follow that crap. But
I think it was. But,
you
I could
might
be
be
wrong.
right.
I could be wrong.
Also, as long as you said first, wasn't this like the first kind of summer blockbuster?
It
like,
was,
in
and-
a way ever.
Yeah,
kind of?
and then like every year since then, there's been a summer movie that's
Yeah. So it kind of Jaws kind of for all
Jaws
you people
is-
that
yeah.
weren't alive. I don't think I was even alive when it came out. So I guess I can't point at us. Jaws was like the king, the granddaddy
Yeah.
of the summer kind of action blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
But Jaws is just synonymous with great. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, it's like for me, like every freaking summer. It's like I said before, ever since I was a kid, around June and July, pull out Jaws, watch Jaws, and luckily here where we live in a secluded, very secretive spot in the world, we don't really have access to oceans, so we don't have to worry about being eaten alive by a shark. Otherwise, I'll tell you, I actually did swim in the ocean, but I shouldn't have because Jaws is creepy.
My girlfriend, she's petrified. She loves the ocean. But she's petrified of sharks, specifically that shark. Just solely
That
because
shark's
of that
fake?
movie. Well, I mean, like the great
Great white in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And-
creepy.
Yeah.
For me, no brainer here. 4 stars. I mean, it's kind of obvious. We're talking Jaws,
Yeah.
the first summer blockbuster of all time, the movie that just kind of catapulted Steven Spielberg, and it's he's never really gone. He's made some crap since, but I mean, he's always kind of been up on the tier since.
Yeah, he's like, I give it 4 stars too. I mean, it transcends just being a summer movie. It's just a good movie in general, and it's one that'll, like, I think the AFC recognizes it as one of the 100 greatest movies ever made, and that's saying a lot for what is essentially a horror movie about a shark eating people over the 4th of July weekend. I mean, like, it's another one of those standard horror movie on a holiday kind of things, but it was made with such craft and such respect for, like, what was scary and what's adventurous and what's fun and action-y and stuff like that. Like, it has so many elements to it, and like, there's human drama, and it's just really, really striking and strong. And it's something that the sequels never really captured again.
Which we'll cut off and then go
Yeah.
on to them.
We will discuss those later.
I think we'll probably discuss the sequels in one other video coming up next, and just, you know, Jaws sequels discussion or something like that. Before would you say stars? Did you say stars?
Yeah, I said 4.
You said
I give it 4.
Before we finish, why don't we just try this, okay? Feel free to cut in anytime you want. Show me the way to go. Boom, boom, boom. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it's going right to my head. What's the rest of it?
I think they repeat it over again.
No, it's as long as I may roam over sand or sea or foam.
Yeah.
You can always hear me singing it. Start the engines.
It's about as realistic as like the Jaws ride in Universal.
Yeah, a little better, but the singing's better. But I'm Nate, and he's
Matt.
Thanks for watching.
Peace.